What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Back with another video looking at not just one, but two collections today that are posted and listed on Facebook up for sale. These two collections have some similar issues and similar red flags that I'm going to be addressing today as to why they've been sitting here for like weeks now and are not selling and won't sell. As always, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Check out all the links in the description below as well, including the link to my Whatnot storefront, where right now I think I have over 400 comics listed for sale. I'm going to be adding a whole bunch more this summer. Everything's listed under market value right now, and I also accept offers. So go check that out. If you use the link to sign up for Whatnot, you do get $15 off of your first purchase from anyone on the app. But with that said, let's get right into it, and let's look at this first collection. All right, so this was posted May 30th, so it's been sitting for over 2 weeks now. Let's just read it. So it says, selling over 4,400 comic books that I've collected, moving on for myself, so would like to sell most of my collection. Now, most of their collection. Well, what does that mean? Cherry picked, right? Now, not to say that's that bad thing. I mean, look at me. I'm going through my personal collection right now and dumping a whole bunch of stuff. What am I keeping? Keys, the stuff that matters, right? Continuing on. I have Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, tons of Marvel, DC, and Indie. There are a handful that are signed by writers and artists as well. Now, keep in mind, guys, signed comic books don't truly garner a whole lot of money. I mean, I know we get all the hype from CGC signings and stuff, but go do your own research. You know, good luck selling a $2, $3, $4, $5 book for more than $20 if it has even a decently known signature on it. You know, unless of course you're talking about Stan or Todd or those names. Continuing on though, would like to sell the whole collection for $7,250, which works out to be just under $1.50 per book. Bags are included with it. I'm assuming he means that most of them are bagged. All right. Red flag number 1. Hip Comics. List still adding to, but here is username to see what I have. This is for serious buyers only. Any questions, feel free to ask. Pickup. So that's good that it's, pickup. Shipping this would be a nightmare. So, okay. Let's try to look at what he has first and foremost. We're going to pull up some pictures here. Dan Slott, good old Dan Slott. I wouldn't pay $1 for his signature. I'm sure some people would. Oh, these are some cool variants. But, I'm sure not much value here. A lot of cool Venom stuff. There's a Spidey 1 homage. And you see the boxes here. You see a lot of modern. You see some 80s stuff, Blue Beetle, 80s Conan, and off the screen you can see some modern indies. And that's all for the pictures, guys. Now, here's the thing with this. Once again, this guy is clearly a modern collector. I commented here weeks ago saying Hip Comics is not an accurate site to use for to value comics. Cover price uses real-time sales data. Guys, no response, so which is interesting. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, guys. I guarantee you there's not one key in this collection. Okay, he's got a couple of signed books. Yippee. A couple of cool variants. Okay, cool. There's nothing here. Right now, again, as I'm looking at this book, as I'm looking at what is there. Now, of course, I always go into this hypothetically, guys. You know, for those that are even harsh on me when I make these videos, the more information that I get, the more that I know that's in there. Of course, if there's keys, of course, if he just happens to have some silver, some bronze, it could change some things a little bit in terms of what I would pay, right? But look, again, I don't think that's the case for this. And he's got 4,400 comic books, guys. That's 10 cents a book. That's $440. I mean, honestly, I'd offer him $500 for this collection. Now, like I said, the big red flag is that this individual is using Hip Comics. Hip Comics is garbage. I'm so glad that this seller didn't like use the value. Like Hip Comics says it's valued it. I guarantee you for this modern stuff that he has of 4,400 comic books, Hip Comics probably would have estimated a $35,000 collection here, which is just a joke. Hip Comics is ridiculous. I do plan on doing a full-on video diving into Hip Comics. I'm also thinking about maybe seeing whoever runs Hip Comics to see if they'll come on a live show with me, because it's just, Hip Comics is a joke. It's a literal joke. So I'm looking at this collection as stands, hypothetically, with no other information, at a dime a book. That's what I'm looking at. Again, if the seller wants to, if there's no keys and the seller wants to like split up the signed books or some of the variants, I recommend doing that, small lots, and then, taking the rest to a comic shop and getting that hopefully maybe a dime a book for this stuff. He's not going to get much money here. So, but let's move on to a second one that I want to look at today. All right. So the next one we're pulling up is another one where the individual is using Hip Comics. This is just, whoo. So what did I say? The one key element that both of these individuals are doing are using Hip Comics. It's not the way to go, guys. Don't do it. Let's read what this individual said here. Click on the link above and it'll take you to the Hip Comics. It'll show you every comic book that is in this lot. Silver Age, Bronze Age, over 300 books from the 1960s and 1990s. They're in very good condition, considering, which ultimately means they're in mid-grade condition. I have them listed for $1,200 on eBay, and I think he meant to say Mercari, not Mercury, but I sound cheaper. I think he meant to say I sell cheaper here because there's no fees. We'll consider reasonable offer. So what does he have it priced at? Okay, $750. So that's about $250 a book, right? And he's saying that he has them for $4 a book on eBay and Mercari. Now let's look at these pictures, guys. Let's pull this up. Lovers Only, I Love You, all these romance novels. No, sorry. Then he's got modern, 80s to modern stuff here. You guys could see the Mephisto in Avengers. He does have a couple of Secret Wars books, Secret Wars 2, Secret Wars. There's a little bit of some late bronze. You see Hulk here, late copper. That's cool. Cool to have that you could sell for a few bucks in back issue bins. He's got some indie Charlton. Just there's no value. There's no real value here. Yeah. So when he said 60s and 70s stuff, it's not. Here you can see a couple of Fantastic Four books from the 80s. You can see a couple of early 80s Hulk books, and then Secret Wars, and then Secret Wars 2. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing here. Marvel Universe, you got this Boulder, one little modern Star Wars book, Thunderstrike, Ghost Rider from the 90s. Nothing. 30 cent, 130-cent Thor. Then you got some 80s Thor. War Machine. Nothing here, guys. Nothing here at all. You got some late 90s Cap. Some 80s Iron Man. So a few more 80s Thors. You got Death of Superman. Late 80s, early 90s Superman here. Again, just nothing here. Just Married, Kid Colt, Punisher, Hercules. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. So yeah, so basically, here's the thing. How do I pull out of here? Let's pull out of here. Let's go back to the main list in here. Guys, I would pay $20, $30 just to take them off these hands. Again, I mean that's 10 cents a book. $30. The fact that this guy is trying to get $4 a book for these, so the fact that he's trying to get $4 a book when you can't even sell them in back issue bins and an LCS or whatever for $4 a book. The fact that he's still trying to even get $2.50 a book when most of them you can't even sell for $2.50 a book. I mean, maybe there's some that you can sell for $3-4. And again, you know, if you zoom in on these, they're not near mint. They're not very fine near mint books. So I'm going to remind, here's the lesson today. If you are selling a large lot, now let me sidebar real quick. 300 comic books is a smaller amount, and if you're selling it for under $1,000, there's a small percentage that could feasibly hit the attention or pique the curiosity of an actual collector. Now, I actually have a collection that's for sale that we're not going to cover today. I'll probably do a video on that later this week, to where it's right in the middle there. You know, it's still a good, decent chunk of money, but just a small enough collection at a price that might actually work to pique the interest of collectors rather than simply pique the interest of dealers, resellers, retailers, LCS owners, etc., right? But this right here, this is a large enough lot that is basically a dirty bulk lot. And I call it a dirty bulk because simply there's nothing there. For an LCS or a dealer or a reseller to even pay a penny for all of this stuff is basically, I'm doing you a favor by taking this off of your hands. So now that was the sidebar. Let me get back to this. The lesson to be learned today, again, is if you guys are if you're selling off a collection, whether you're a collector that just wants to downgrade, whether you're a collector that needs money really fast and you need to get rid of your collection or part of your collection, or whether you inherited a collection from a family member that passed on, or whatever. If you're trying to sell in bulk, you're only attracting collectors, and you have to understand this. I said it in the last video I did talking about this. The profit margin for comic books, even for keys and solid books, is not large. It's not very wide. It's a very small margin, okay? And anybody that's buying a collection like this has to be able to look at it and say, can I take these comics, put them on my eBay store, put them on my Whatnot store, do a live sell on Whatnot, do a live sell on Instagram, post them on Instagram for claim sales, put them in back issue bins that I can sell at a con, put them in back issue bins because I'm an LCS owner. Can I do any of those things and actually, number one, break even? But then if you're just breaking even, that's bad business, and you're not going to last long. So not only do you have to ask, can I break even? Can I make any profit so I can pay my bills, my fixed costs, my time, my put food on the table, whatever it is. The only way that anybody can look at this collection right here and feasibly make any money for it to be worth it is literally to pay $30, maybe $50 at most for this collection. Because this stuff, a lot of it's going to go in dollar bins. Some of it's going to be priced at a couple of bucks. Some of it's going to be priced at $3, maybe $4. And there might be a couple of books in there. You know, you might be able to press and clean some of them. You might be able to sell some of those Secret Wars for anywhere from $5 to $10. And, you know, you clean a few of them up. Maybe some of those 30-cent Thors you could sell for maybe $6, $7, maybe a few of them. It's going to take you time and effort to break even and to be even to make even $20 extra, $30 extra in your pocket. The fact that somebody is asking hundreds of dollars for this blows my mind. It's not going to happen, guys. Again, we looked at two collections. Number one, don't use hip comics to value your collection. And two, again, you're only attracting resellers and dealers. Profit margin, cost that it takes for somebody to buy the collection, right? The time and effort that they need to rebag and board, that they need to press and clean, the time it takes them to list, to organize, to put in their back issue bins, to put on their online shops, whatever. If they have a brick and mortar, Um, bills, paying their employees, paying rent, paying the lights, all that stuff. Okay, paying taxes on the revenue that they earn. If you're shipping Gemini mailers, ink, paper, printing costs, driving to the post office, tape, all those things. The profit margin is very small for selling comic books. It's not the dream. It's not the dream, guys. Just being real. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be well, and until next time.